Welcome to Wout of the World, guys, and you're joining me today in Africa. We started on a big adventure, a road trip through the southern countries of Africa, and we started in Cape Town, South Africa. We drove all the way into Namibia, where the first site is over there behind me. This is Sossusvlei.
From that famous Table Mountain you saw us crossing through the West Coast National Park. We camped in the most beautiful places in South Africa and went on a safari in the Kalahari Desert. Now we're driving to Namibia.
And in this episode in the Sossusvlei, you see us using the 4x4 rooftop sleeper again by Brits. It's really something, guys, this adventure, because when you park your car at night and you put up the tents and you wake up under the African sun in the morning, there's nothing more relaxing than having your breakfast right next to this camper, guys.
On the way to the border we see vultures and these rock hyraxes.
Namibia, Namibia, Namibia. Whoop, whoop. Here we are, guys, in Namibia. But I got some fresh tips for you because we had some trouble at the border. One is our kid here didn't have a birth certificate. We've been traveling for 14 months. We never used it, we never had it, but now they almost wouldn't let us in. So now we promised him to email it later when we're at the hotel. And another thing, we had to throw away all the cheese and meat that we had because it's not allowed to bring it because of mad cow disease. So if you're going to Namibia, those two things are things to think about. But we are in Namibia. Only yesterday we crossed the border from South Africa into Namibia, and we already noticed it's freaking hot over here. It's almost all desert. So we're staying in a town called Keetmanshoop, which is in the middle of nowhere, but it took us about 5 hours to get here. And it's gonna take us another 5 hours for the first destination that we're gonna visit, a beautiful site here in Namibia. So we put the camper at rest right over here, and we stay for 2 days at this lovely hotel with a garden, a swimming pool, air conditioning rooms, which is very nice, by the way, at this moment, and the restaurant. So a little bit of chillaxing, and then we move on to the Sossusvlei, which will be the first site in Namibia.
And this town is so typical for Namibia. A whole society suddenly emerges in the middle of the desert landscape. You can easily spend hours in the car here to reach any form of life. And that's exactly why we're enjoying this wonderful oasis as much as we can.
It also gives me a chance to do some work over here because I have a lot of ground to cover with all the videos. It's still Australia I'm editing, so. Wow guys, we're driving towards the Sossusvlei, and it's a couple of hours more driving towards the campsite. And if I look outside my window, it's like the sky is on fire. The sun is going down, and this is one of the most beautiful skies I ever saw in my life. Look. What an adventure, guys. We drove for 5.5 hours, and in the beginning, the first 2 hours, Sus was driving on the super smooth highway roads, and then all of a sudden it turned into Dakar Rally, and that was the part that I was driving, of course. So we're now in Sesrim. It's almost 12 o'clock midnight, and it's time to put up the tents, go to sleep, because this is the entrance to the Sossusvlei. We had a perfect night's rest, guys, and we needed that. So quiet over here, remotely in the desert. And last night it was all pitch black, so we didn't see anything yet of the surroundings. And this morning at 8 o'clock we got woken up by the burning African sun on our tents right over there. Then we saw the surroundings. They look amazing, but it's nothing compared to where we're going today, because the Sossusvlei is supposed to be even more beautiful. Gonna put down the tents and let's go.
We get used to Namibia quite fast. It's a journey back in time, and you hardly meet anyone on the way. The country is about 1.5 times bigger than France, but only just over 2 million people live here. And where we're heading now, no one lives at all. Welcome to the oldest and driest desert in the world.
On the way to the Sossusvlei there's a tiered road for 60 kilometers. You can drive it with any car to the parking lot, from where you can go with a 4-wheel drive shuttle. But on the way you already see some beautiful sights like the dunes alongside the road. And they have come up with super original names. It must have cost them so much time. This is Dune 40 behind me.
At these first dunes we see the landscape that Namibia is so famous for. The highest dune here is about 325 meters. Researchers have measured the most hours of sunshine here of all the places on Earth, and sometimes it doesn't rain here for 10 years. So you'd think that no life could exist here, but that's not even the case. I just love those gemsboks.
We drove on to the next dune, guys, with an equally original name, because this is Dune 45. Hey, she's such a balanced person. Until now.
And this was just the appetizer.
After 60 kilometers of beautiful dune scenery, we end up at this parking lot, guys, and the road ends here, the tiered road. You can only go on a 4x4 road. We do have a 4x4, but I wouldn't go there because they have a professional driver here, a shuttle service that you can take towards the Sossusvlei, and then you'll be sure not to get stuck in the sand, so let's do that. I just got a little confirmation that we shouldn't drive ourselves, because the white car here behind me, I just talked to the guys and they got stuck in the sand yesterday and they could only get out today. So they slept in the car the whole night waiting for help. So that's why we don't drive ourselves.
In the blazing sun we also see springboks and gemsboks again.
If you were to Google Namibia, you would probably find pictures of one spot in particular, the Sossusvlei. Sossusvlei means dead end march, and it's right in the middle of the desert. A bigger desert because it's all part of the Namib-Naukluft National Park. But we're just visiting the Sossusvlei because it's easy to reach, it's right inside the national park, and it all looks pretty much the same except for one spot, and that's the Deadvlei. It's behind the hills right here, and it's the most iconic place in Namibia. Within half an hour we will see the Deadvlei behind the dunes over there from the parking lot. But I recommend you to go in the morning because it's turning afternoon and it gets hotter. The sand will get hot and in the morning it's all good. So right now it's still okay, but on the way back it will be warmer. This is it, guys, the most iconic part of my journey in Namibia. This is the Sossusvlei and behind me is Deadvlei, the Death Valley. You can see the dead trees which make it so iconic, hence the name Death Valley. With the red dunes behind it, it's just a unique sight for the whole world, I think. And also, it reminds me a bit of that part of the savannah where Simba is not allowed to go in The Lion King by his father. Awesome.
The characteristic trees in this valley are almost 1,000 years old, and it is therefore strictly forbidden to sit on or climb the trees. Oddly enough, some idiots do this.
So I'm making a lot of pictures here, just walking around in the Deadvlei. And what I didn't tell you yet is that I'm the only living soul here on this flat. There's nobody. It makes sense because it's turning noon and it's getting too hot for everybody. So I should get back as well. Susan and Jens are already going back because the sun is burning. But guys, look at this. If I would drop dead here, it would really be Death Valley because only the vultures would find me. I'm going back as well. Oh, my camera.
Through the sweltering hot sand, I walk back to our driver. And on the way back we passed the biggest dune of the park, called Big Papa.
What did you think, guys? I made it back. It's freaking hot and I don't want to advertise, but this Coke right here is the best sip of Coke I ever tasted in my life. Let's go back to the campsite. What a day, guys! We got to witness the most beautiful sights that Namibia has to offer here in the Sossusvlei. World famous views and everything, but there's one thing I'd like more right now, and that's a cool swimming pool. We found one at the entrance. There's a campsite called Sossusvlei Lodge, and we're gonna have a little dive over there in the swimming pool while we have the campsite right here.
And along with our camping spot we seem to have a pet.
That's it, guys, unfortunately for this episode, but we're gonna travel on through Namibia and some other African countries, but for now, it's a wrap. Oh!
After now, it's a wrap.
Join us next time as we visit many more wonders along the coast of Namibia. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you soon. Ciao!